So, hello everyone. Welcome to MYCast, the independent horror podcast based on and around the Mycho Universe and beyond. And today, I have a very, very special guest with me. We have Miss Luna Wolf.
Hi everyone.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm still alive, which is becoming a running joke as we go. Because usually that's like a greeting I always use.
Yeah.
Is when people say, "How you doing?" I say, "Still alive."
Still alive.
You know, as if like, haha. But now that's kind of like that. As I was saying to Adam last week, that's now like important information.
It's the ultimate truth as well.
Yeah. So I'm still alive, but I might not have been. You didn't know. You know, it's very plausible that might have happened. So
might
anyway,
be going a bit
welcome.
crazy. Sorry.
A bit is the that's an understatement for certain. I'm gone batshit crazy while I've been in here. It's
I know the feeling.
And we're on like week 3
God.
of my 12-week stint. So that's lots of fun.
Hang in there.
Right. So this is our third podcast in the series. And I thought, who better to have on than our leading lady? You know, our centre point of the Mycho Universe. We've had people from. We had the first show. We had Derek, who's kind of like a new addition to the Mycho Universe.
Yep.
Who's been in the last couple of films we've done. Last week we did Adam, who was like in the first film we did. So I thought, now I'm going to go and find someone from the centre. You know, one of the linchpins who holds it all together. Oh, but it's because it's radio, no one can see. So
well, that's good.
Right. Yeah. So, so as always, I've got a few questions to ask you, and it could run anywhere from 15 minutes to 3 hours. We just don't know.
We just don't know.
That's the beauty of being so relaxed about doing these things.
Yeah, and I've got all the time in the world, you know.
Well, like everyone, I guess, right now. Which has been really the best part about this is people not being able to get out of it. Because you want to do a podcast, and people go, usually they go, I'm a bit busy. I'm a bit busy this week. I go, what the fuck are you doing? You're a doctor. Get on the podcast.
I'm eating cheese and drinking wine and washing my hair. Sorry.
Oh, that is genuinely what I'm doing.
Well, I am drinking wine.
I don't dare start drinking because I don't know what'll happen. I probably won't stop. It won't be the coronavirus that gets me. It'll be the liver failure.
I think, it's probably not a good thing, because then where are we going to get our movies?
Well, that's a very good point. And we have a movie to make, but we'll get into that around question 4.
Okay.
I believe. So, for the benefit of people at home, who do you think you are? Who are you?
Oh my goodness. Who does anybody think they are?
Wow.
I'm just a loose cannon that is kind of stumbling along the way, trying to create as much entertainment as possible for everyone, and hopefully making friends on the way. That's who I think I am.
But what is your name?
My name is Luna Wolf, and I work for Mycho Entertainment as an actor and a behind the scenes camera slapper.
That's the best job description I've ever heard. We didn't give that to you, by the way, just so that people know. I don't go around.
This is quarantine speaking.
It is. That's good, though. That's good.
No, I mean,
so
I help out.
Go on.
I help out.
I'm a little bit more than help out, but you know. But yeah. I mean, it's certainly a case of you do a lot more than just acting for us and for everyone else, of course. But but you know, I think
whenever I can get the chance to come down and help you guys, I tend to try.
Yeah, because you've come and done makeup and behind the scenes photography and just general general other stuff. You brought donuts to Mask of Thorn.
Oh my
That's
goodness,
one of my favourite memories.
I remember that day.
It was a good day. It was a good day.
Turned up with a bag of donuts. Hi guys. Oh God, here she comes.
And that's indie film though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Even if you're not acting, you're down there. You've got to be down helping do other stuff. That's kind of how it works.
I like to kind of try and keep the morale alive. Not that it needs to be kept alive, but I just like.
But donuts certainly
help. They don't help my waistline, but they certainly help with everything else.
Oh well, yeah, especially at the minute when you can't bloody exercise.
Oh my God, don't! I've put on so much weight.
No, I don't believe it.
We're gonna have a fat Amber. She's gonna be rolling onto the scene. Yeah,
I love it
because this is how I roll.
So I'll go on to my next question. Okay. I've got a cat. I've got my co-host as a cat called Terry joining me.
Hi Terry.
So what got you into acting?
Blimey! See, this is like it started out. I would probably have to say when I was about 8 years old. Me being the kid that I was quite adventurous, and my dad ended up like having, I think it was the Terminator, you know, that like tinned box with the VHS in with all the special features and stuff in it. And I was I was like, oh my God, Dad, you have to show me this film. And he was like, oh, shut up, you're too young. And I'm like, no, for real, Dad, you have to let me watch this film. And this went on for weeks until he finally cracked, as dads do. You've got all this to look forward to. And he actually made me watch the special features of the Terminator before he even let me watch anything else. And I was so hooked on the process of making films and, you know, like what goes on behind the scenes, that actually I then turned to him and said, Dad, can you film me and my brother, you know, prattling around in the forest pretending that we were Indiana Jones? So that's kind of how it began. And ever since then, I've just been doing little bits here and there until I met you guys. So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's just been like such a journey. And like, I feel like joining the Mycho crew has been like one of the best things that has happened to me since that day that my dad let me watch Terminator.
Oh, you are so sweet. It's unbelievable. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No, it really has. It absolutely has, because you guys are not just a film crew. You are a film family. And, you know, we all look out for each other. And, you know, if anything is needed, you know, we just like go, hey, you know, we need this. And then like so many people just join in. And it's just so heartwarming.
Well, that's very true. I mean, recently, we did a GoFundMe, obviously with everything that's going on in the world at the minute. If you're listening to this far in the future, we were in the midst of coronavirus lockdown during all this. Mm-hmm. So obviously we discovered that a lot of people were struggling to make ends meet very suddenly.
Yeah.
And because we're like a family, we decided that we wanted to try and do our best to help as many people as we could. So we set up a GoFundMe to so that if people were struggling to buy food and stuff until, you know, because there's a whole problem with the government giving us self-employment payments and things like that.
Yeah.
So we set up a little fund for that, and that's, like you say, that's kind of the family element of it. I think is one. You know, we're very careful about who we kind of allow seems like some kind of gate. That's not what I mean. But we're very picky of who we have involved in our stuff. But once you're in there,
you're in.
You're in for good. You're
stuck for life.
Yeah, trapped. You're trying to get back out, but we'll pull you back in.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me on nicely to my next question. Then I think so. How? Obviously, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, but how for people at home? How did you get involved in Slasher House 2?
Well, this was the era when I was still working with someone else at the time, and I remember seeing, I think it was on Star Now, and I was going through all of like the auditions and the posts and whatnot, and Slash House 2 came up because it was in the category that I really really liked, which was like horror and all of that. And I remember, I think, applying for it, and then you guys did get back to me, and then I think something happened between me and the person that I was already working with, and I couldn't get to you to be able to get in there. But then I remember you guys coming back to me a little bit later. I think it was a couple of months, and you just like said, "Hey, are you still interested in this role?" And I remember at the time that I just completely had enough with the person that I was currently working with, and I just cut ties completely. So then I was I was so over the moon that you guys had contacted me again, because I was so free to be able to then Skype call you guys. And the moment that I started talking to you, I knew it was the best decision ever, because we hit it off. I think we did anyway. I don't want to just assume, but
well, yeah. So yeah, I mean, for people who don't know, it's so I remember we spoke to you, I think, and then so we were in the process of auditioning people essentially. I think at the time,
yeah.
And you were our top choice.
Oh, I didn't know that at the time.
Well, I mean, people don't, do they?
No.
But you were our top choice. But
yeah.
For whatever, I mean, obviously we didn't know any of this at the time, so we didn't hear back from you. I think it was like the second stage of the auditions, and so but you just kind of assume that people aren't interested, or they've or it's not for them. And there's kind of, you don't have hard feelings about it. You just kind of go, oh, well,
Yeah.
You just, so we ended up casting someone else, who was an actor friend of, she was the wife of or the girlfriend, I think, of another filmmaker that we'd been doing some work for.
Yeah.
And so, she came on board. I think she did a day, on set, and then it came to we'd booked everything, got everyone down for a week of shooting, and we just got an email saying that basically she wasn't coming because she had to work.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And we were like, fuck, because that you're making a film on $3,000, and we'd spent a third of that just on catering and props and stuff that just couldn't be replaced, really.
Yeah.
Stuff that you couldn't keep.
Yeah, and I know only too well that raising money as well for a movie is hard enough as it is, and then having to go, oh well, damn, that we've just spent a third of our funds on something that we just can't get back, and we don't have any footage for either. So yeah, I understand that.
So we just kept shooting, really, up until the point where we knew Amber was going to come in. In the meantime, we were desperately trying to fill this role, and we tried. I talked to a couple of people, but so I talked to a friend of mine who was an actress, and she was a teacher, and obviously there's some nudity in the film, so she was like, "Oh, can I do it?" And then I was like, is this going to cause a problem? And she was like, oh shit, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
So suddenly she was out. And then, so then we got to that point where I said, look, let's just stop. You know what I mean? Because we're just going to end up with someone we don't want in the role, just purely out of, we need to fill it.
Yeah.
So because we did that, we suddenly were able to stop. And I said, well, look, let's spend our time finding the right person for this. And of course, we went back through the applicants, and Anna said, oh, what about this girl who was our top choice? And it was you.
Yeah. Oh.
You're making
me all warm and fuzzy inside.
Oh, good. And so we said, well, look, it doesn't hurt to send her a message and see if she's still interested, So we did.
Yeah.
And you were.
And I'm honestly, I was so glad that you guys did, because joining Mycho Entertainment was the best thing I could have done in my acting career. Not because it was like necessarily good and I got famous out of it, but more because of the experience I had and the way that it fed my soul.
Oh,
I don't know
nice.
any other way of trying to explain it, but working with you
Well,
guys
it's
is
very
so
similar to
good.
what Adam said.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I mean, I'm sure people think we're rolling in the dough.
No.
People who don't know, you know, and it's made us all very. But I
It's
mean, the
often a
reality is that these
misconception
things,
actually about
yeah.
movies is the fact that so many people is like, oh my God, you're an actress, you must be well rich, and actually it's really not actually the case.
Well, it's yeah, and I think people think that, you know, it's quite a lucrative thing, and the reality is that you kind of have to be doing it for your own
Yeah.
personal enrichment a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, and that, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I was very lucky that I realised very early on that I wasn't going to get rich and famous from making these things, but it was fulfilling like a different part of me.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
I think in this whole
And so,
lifetime, that's the one thing that you should be striving for, is to be fulfilled in your heart and in your soul rather than your wallet.
yeah.
That's also a bonus, but
Well, that's yeah. I think that's honestly like, I mean, because I make money doing other things. You know, I do client work, and sometimes, you know, sometimes it's good. Sometimes I get to direct like cool music videos, and
yeah.
sometimes I have to do like really crappy, boring, like corporate, you know, like
Yeah.
editing
Yeah.
boring
No,
talks or
I
whatever.
totally get it, because I
And
do a
like,
lot of
and I
corporate
earn
stuff as
money, but
well.
I fucking I hate every moment of it, you know. And it's so you have to have that enrichment in your life.
Yeah.
And I think you have to find what kind of does that for you. And with you, I guess that acting is really a big part of that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I get to tell a story and I get to lose myself out of reality for however long it takes me to act in that story. So, you know, it's a break from the real world for me as well. But I'm not just in front of the camera as well, like we were saying earlier on. I really, really enjoy being on set and helping out with
Yeah,
everything
and
else.
I mean, and you're also a filmmaker in your own right, which like is massively helpful to me when you're on set, because I
Yeah,
think that our language barrier is that, well, there isn't one
there
at
isn't one.
all. Like
No.
we both understand like the language of film.
Yeah.
And so that's to me, that's so helpful when we're working together.
Yeah.
Is that you know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't have to um I don't have to explain it to you as much, you know, like because you have experience on the other side of that as well.
Yeah.
But as an actor, I mean, I get to talk about my favorite thing in the world now, which is my characters. But so Amber is we in Slash House 2 we introduced her as a very classic, you know, the final girl kind of slasher character, where she's kind of like the damsel who's not ready for any of this kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I
she's
mean?
practically the me as soon as I've woken up.
Yeah, she's
There's different levels of me um in Amber, and Amber in Slasher House 2 is the me just as soon as I've woken up.
yeah,
I
she's
think.
very much she's got no like gumption, has she? She's kind of like a down and out, like terrified, like you know, like she's like, I always consider her to be like the Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween of kind of
Oh yeah, okay, I'll take that.
of the series,
Yeah,
you know,
that's cool.
like
Yeah, yeah, I'll take that.
but yeah,
I like
and I
that.
think
That's pretty cool, actually. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Ooh.
And but I think that she's the point of that was to introduce a character so that we could watch them grow into something else.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, we'll talk about we'll talk about the kind of next
The next steps.
the next phase. But let's
Phase
let's not
two.
let's not move on too far. So I mean, let's talk about So what was it like playing Amber in Slash House 2? The character and of course the general experience of it.
I think like to begin with, like because I came into the story and filming quite late, I was kind of hitting the ground running, so to speak, trying not to trip up.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have too much of a chance to read the script completely because of the amount of work that I had going on at the time. But I knew that I had to be in this film and I knew I had to join in. And as soon as I started with you guys filming, honestly, you all just put me straight at ease. So then when I got into the character, I started to have a little bit of fun with it, actually. Apart from the opening scene, which yeah, I was really struggling that day.
Oh yeah.
Having chemical pneumonia from fire breathing a few days before was pretty insane. But apart from that, literally, I think the help of you guys just being so cool about things and so helpful with stuff has been the best part of the experience. And also knowing that I was giving birth, so to speak, to Amber. And I think potentially my complete confusion over the situation actually kind of helped me get into that role, because I was just like, what am I doing? What's going on? Because
yeah, I can get
I
that,
was
yeah.
I was kind of like, and I'm sorry that I was like making up my lines as I was going. The amount of times you guys were like, please stop changing the script, and I'm just like, oh, sorry. But yeah, like,
no, but I mean, it was fine. It was fine.
yeah, the thank you. Because I was worried about that. But the experience itself, it was tough.
Like yeah. I mean, I often cite that I've never had an experience that hard since.
Yeah. It was tough, but not because of anything you guys did. It's just the role itself was so physically like tough, and I wasn't even in the state that I need to be in for the next one yet. So yeah, it was tough, but we got through it, and I'm so glad we did because of the results. I'm so happy with it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like I think, and also I think, like a lot of these things, because we went through that experience together, we bonded quite a lot over it.
Yeah, we absolutely did. I ended up with a family of friends out of it.
Well, this is it, yeah. So we came out of it being like really good friends as well, which has been a really nice kind of side effect of that grueling experience, because it was fucking cold. We shot from
I didn't want to say.
God knows why. We shot from like I think November to
there was a January in there as well somewhere.
No, well, we shot all the way up till September, I think.
But that January was it was colder inside the warehouse than it was outside the warehouse, which was snowing.
We shot all the main stuff from November to we had a break over Christmas to replace the original actress, and then I think we shot again from January till I think kind of the beginning of March, and it just wasn't getting any warmer, was it?
No, it wasn't, especially not with what I was wearing. If anybody has seen Slash House 2, they will understand that minus temperatures were not the best idea for my outfit.
No, yeah.
Considering most of the time I was naked as well.
Yeah. You don't consider that when you're writing these cool things, and then you go, "Oh, it's going to be fucking horrible for somebody," because you don't imagine like that character being in like a cold warehouse. You just write it and design it and think that's what it's going to be like, and then,
but I know that you've like given me some nicer clothes in the next
Well, I was about to say that. So, I mean,
So
I
I'm
say you
thanking
don't
you.
really think about that when you're writing these things, but now I bloody
No,
do.
you do. No,
So
you
when I was
do.
writing the next one, I was like, right, so she's got a fucking full body suit and
To
an
which,
Eskimo's
to which
coat.
I
And...
thank you profusely, but I know what's going to happen this time round. I'm just going to end up being far too hot.
Oh yeah, well, they'll probably end up shooting in the bloody middle of summer, won't we?
Yeah, or up to the end of September or something, where it's going to be
Well,
bastard hot.
I mean, nobody
Nobody
knows right
knows.
now. That's the
Nobody
scary
knows.
part.
But yeah.
But that does actually that transcends to my next question quite nicely.
Mm.
So, I mean, we haven't shot it yet, but so I want to talk about how you think the character changes from Slash House 2 to the follow up without giving away
Too
any
much.
spoilers, I
Too
guess.
much. Oh, it's difficult though.
Slash House 3.
Okay, I think, well, in the timeline of things, I'm not talking about the movies. I think in the timeline of things, Amber has had it tough. Like she's
Yeah.
been through an awful lot. Let's face it. She's been through just utter horrific stuff. This is me trying not to give away too much. And I think
I know.
it has molded her and shaped her into a completely different person. I don't know whether or not that's giving away too much. I don't think it is because
Well, I don't know. See,
psychologically, I mean, can you imagine somebody going through what she went through in Slasher House 2 and it not have such an impact on the person that she will become from it? So she's completely evolved into something completely different to what she was when she started, which was the ditzy stripper who, you know, was wearing a lot less clothes at the time, but you know, she would have cried at breaking a nail, whereas I don't think she probably would cry at breaking a nail in this next one. And I'm actually really, really excited about doing a lot of character development on this, and being in the situation that we are. I'm as soon as because I had an elbow injury over Christmas, I'm going to get support, and I'm going to start doing a bit of training for it. So, you know.
Well, we actually sent you to do like a refresher course, I think, in fight training, but coronavirus
it's made it
wiped it out.
It's just silly.
It killed it off. So I guess we'll be doing some more of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As soon as this lockdown is over, I'm actually planning on going to various different fight training courses with martial arts groups. Oops, daisy, almost knocked over my thing. Off of my own back, I'm actually doing a fair amount of martial art training as well as going to the fight training that you guys have been so awesome to send me to, even though we haven't made it yet.
Well, I think no, but it'll you know, it's just one of those unfortunate things, so it hasn't quite worked out yet.
Yeah, but it will. So
yeah, and so I think Slash House 3, the idea is we kind of saw Amber be very, like you say, kind of like this kind of ditzy, kind of like, you know, meek.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, almost like a lost lamb, really, isn't she? Like, and then I think the idea of Slash House 3 is to find her in the middle of that transition from that to something more, you know. And then I mean, I don't know where people can see this because it's the first time that we've ever done anything like this. But last year we shot. We were involved in a project called Fayin.
Oh yeah.
Where we actually get to see Amber like 4 years from the events of Slash House 2. And she's a very different character again, which is obviously part of her transition in Slash House 3.
I was so excited.
So I don't know whether that's available.
I was so excited.
But we did, it was so much fun. So we loaned Amber out to another company to do like a kind of special. It was like a mystery thing for Horror on Sea 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Oh my goodness.
I know.
I'm losing track of time.
That feels like it was about 100 years ago.
Wow. What's going on? What's my name?
So we get to see her kind of fully formed-ish. Where essentially we intend to take the character in that. But I don't know if that film's available online or anything at the minute. I don't know what they plan to do with it.
I think they were planning, to maybe release it on Vimeo. I'm not sure, because something to do with the rights to the music that they were using. I think they needed to do something with the licensing before they could release it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe an email to them is probably.
Obviously, I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, neither have I actually.
So
I've completely forgotten about it.
But I completely forget that we kind of have done this project with Amber, and we wanted to keep it in tune with the kind of universe and the story that we're telling. So it's kind of like one of those little Easter eggs that's out there somewhere that hopefully people will be able to see soon. And it was us, Pat Higgins of Jinx Media, and Shooting Lodge Productions, Ben Manning and Pablo Raybold. They were all in, and then obviously the Grime Horror guys who put the whole project together.
Which actually I have to say, I was very, very surprised to get two bullseyes on working with some really, really cool individuals straight away after you guys, because my experience with shooting with Mycho was just that good that I just didn't expect to then roll off and then film with another set of really, really amazing people. And so I was truly surprised, but pleasantly surprised.
And the end product was amazing.
Really good.
I was really so good.
I had to get sprayed with blood.
It's really interesting to. Oh yeah. Well, there'll be plenty more of that.
Yay!
Don't you worry. But it's also interesting to kind of see your characters kind of going through someone else's narrative a little bit. I think. So it's fun. It was good. So there is a sneak peek of what we'll kind of eventually see Amber become. Going down the line, which is cool. And I'm really she's my favorite character to write.
She's my favorite character to play, because there's so much scope with her.
She's had and she's had so much. You don't with Red or Cleaver or Thorn, you don't really get to have so much character development because they have a place. They're telling a story, and so they have to be a certain thing or a certain way, But with Amber, because of the way and where we introduced her, we've been able to tell her story over a much longer period of time.
And you never know in which direction she's going to go in next. That's the beauty of not having her as the main antagonist or the protagonist or any other of the characters. You just don't know where she really, really belongs in the series until it actually gets revealed, which is something that I really, really am enjoying at the moment.
Well, also, and I think as well, I've got to play with so many different roles, because she's kind of been the sidekick, and then she's she's kind of sprouts out on her own towards the kind of middle of Slash House 2, and then she becomes something else again, and then something else again, and so it's fun to kind of approach the character from different angles, very much like life is, where you over time you become a different person, based on the experiences that happen to you. And so it's been really fun kind of writing that, instead of it just being she's this helpless victim, and now she's grizzly badass.
I like the grizzly badass better, to be honest.
Because that seems to be the two things. Where it's going back to Jamie Lee Curtis, it's the kind of the two modes. She's either crying, running away from Michael Myers, or she's running around with a shotgun, or an axe or whatever. Going, you little bastard, come here!
I've had enough of breaking my nails. Now it's time for me to stop.
And so I think it's been fun to have the nuance in between that, for the character, and it's been amazing to watch you portray it. So far.
Thank you.
So I've got one more question. So So what are you doing? What's next for Luna
What's
Wolf?
next? I'm currently, and you'll understand how difficult this is sometimes. I'm currently putting together a short movie. It's a psychological horror that I filmed last time I was in Miami. It's based on somebody with perfect pitch, who his boyfriend basically had a performance going on, and he didn't play it correctly, and he's got like really mad with him, and it goes through this whole like one actor, one location. It's all shot in the same flat. It goes through, and it basically, it's a hats off to The Shining. It's written by my friend Pip. He's my friend who writes stuff because I'm not very good with words. So I throw ideas at him and he churns back a script at me and we film it. But this one was actually written by him and it was his idea. I just literally said, here, we've got your hotel room, and you're going to be the actor. That's all. And then he came up with this beautiful script of like this one guy who was just going mad in his own hotel room. That was shot and edited and directed by me, and it will be edited by me. And it was co-directed by Natalia Sedici, who we know from Fort Lauderdale. And Pip was actually the actor in it. So I'm really, really excited because this is my very first, like, I shot it, I directed it, and I'm going to edit it. So it's like the thing that is basically fitting in the puzzles to my career in filmmaking. So
yeah, I've seen some bits of it. It looks very exciting.
I sent you the gag reel. Yay!
You did.
I was like, look at this.
But I'm excited to see it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's one of those Everest tasks that is going to get finished at the end of this lockdown. I'm hoping that it's going to be finished within the next week or two, but we'll see. I want to make it good.
Well, that sounds really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. So
apart from that, Slasher House 3.
Hey.
And who knows?
Whenever we get to it.
Who knows? But hopefully, maybe another couple under my belt before the year end.
Awesome. Well, it's been really nice to have you on the show.
It's been really cool to catch up.
Yeah, this is nice. That's what I like about it. Because it's also kind of like a bit of a, as Phoebe Buffay would say, a renaissance. Where I get to talk to my friends for the length of time that you don't usually get to when you're busy.
It, isn't it? That's the thing.
So it's nice.
So,
so thank you for joining me, Luna. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was. I hope there was some points of interest in there for you. And you can listen to these earlier on patreon.com/Mycho, MYCHO. For as little as like $1, £1 or $2 a month, you can get these up to a month earlier. We're doing loads at the minute because obviously we're struggling to get films made. So we're doing a lot more podcasts at the minute, just to so that you guys still have some fresh content to listen to. So we're doing these a little bit more regularly than we usually would because we usually do about 2 a month, but we're currently working on maybe doing a bit more than that. And then also, if you want to watch Slash House 2, if you go to tinyurl.com/Mycho Prime or Mycho Prime USA, you can, depending on where you're based, you can watch Slash House 2 for free right now, or buy it on DVD at mycho.co.uk, mycho.co.uk, and you can buy it on DVD there. For people who like physical media, we have loads of stuff going on. If you just go to our website, you can catch up on past podcasts, or you can catch up on them here, or whatever service you're listening to this on. And that's about it. I'm not very good at doing these kind of selling myself in. I forgot to do them the last two because I dread it so much. So I thought I'd better do it this time. So anyway, you've heard my pitch. Don't make my sacrifice be in vain, and go and look at all that stuff that I just said. Okay, so thank you very
thank
much,
you.
Lina. And thank you
Cool.
guys. And we'll see you
Nice.
next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.